Welcome, my soapy family. Pull up a chair, get comfy. If you thought the drama in Yosef couldn't get any thicker, you're in for a proper shock this February 2026. Hearts are breaking, secrets are exploding, and someone's about to get a very threatening letter. It's all kicking off, and I'm here to walk you through every single juicy detail. So, let's dive straight into the chaos from episode 196 right through to 215. And listen, before we get started, if you're loving these detailed recaps, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It helps this channel more than you know. Alright, let's get into it. Monday, the 2nd of February, kicked off with Firat's conscience eating him alive. He had dug up the truth about that skelm Bora scamming Neslihan, but looking into her hopeful eyes, the words just stuck in his throat. He couldn't break her heart like that, not yet. Meanwhile, in their temporary refuge, Seher used every bit of her gentle strength to convince a brooding Yaman that running away wasn't the answer. She told him Yosef needed them home, in the familiar walls of the mansion, to face whatever was coming together. Her unwavering belief finally chipped through his anger, and he agreed to return, though the tension he carried back was heavier than any suitcase. By Tuesday the 3rd, the real weight of their situation crushed Yaman. The mere thought of a future where he might lose Yosef, the boy who was his whole heart, had him pacing like a caged animal. His fear was a tangible storm in the mansion. Over at the station, Iqbal nearly fainted when she finally pieced together the truth about Seher in the manipulated file. Her own web of lies was threatening to strangle her. And poor Firat, he was trapped between his duty and his growing feelings for Neslihan, staring at Bora's file, knowing that revealing it would shatter her world. It was a terrible decision no one would want to make. Come Wednesday the 4th, Neslihan, armed with a sliver of doubt, confronted Bora. But that smooth-talking conman was ready, spinning a tale so convincing it left her more confused than ever. His friend, smelling blood, even raised the stakes of their cruel bet. Back at the mansion with Yosef feeling unwell, Yaman and Seher pushed their own heartache aside. They sat on his bed and spun a beautiful bedtime story about two guardian angels who would move heaven and earth to protect their precious boy. A promise woven into a fairy tale that made Yosef smile before he slept. Thursday the 5th was shrouded in a deep shared sadness in the Kirimli home. The air was thick with worry for Yosef. Trying to be the light in the darkness, Yaman organized a special surprise, filling the boy's room with his favorite toys and stories, a desperate attempt to create a happy memory. The plot thickened dramatically when Iqbal and Zuhal, already panicking, received a hand-delivered threatening letter. The anonymous message made it clear their scheming hadn't gone unnoticed, and now someone dangerous was closing in on them, turning their fear into outright terror. On Friday the 6th, the entire household rallied around little Yosef. Everyone, from the kitchen staff to his aunties, played games and told jokes, a united front trying to distract him from the aches and worries his small body carried. The effort was filled with love, but the underlying anxiety was palpable. While the family focused on love, justice was on the move elsewhere. The detective hired by Yaman was now hot on Zuhal's trail, digging into her past actions and her connection to the forged file, piecing together a case that could finally expose her. You know, this family goes through more in a week than we do in a year. If you're as hooked as I am, remember, keeping this channel going relies on your support. Consider joining our membership for exclusive perks or simply letting the ads play. Every little bit helps us bring you these stories. The new week, Monday the 9th, saw Firat shift from hesitation to action. He decided to covertly gather more concrete info on Bora, needing irrefutable proof before he shattered Neslihan's dreams. His detective work began in earnest. At the mansion, the worry peaked as Yosef's condition prompted an urgent trip to the hospital. The waiting room filled with the fraught silence of the Karimli family, each of them battling their own fears for the little boy who held their fractured family together. Tuesday the 10th was a day of silent storms. Yaman and Seher, sitting in stiff hospital chairs, struggled side by side with a grief they couldn't yet name, their shared fear for Yosef, a painful bridge between them. Then, the doctor emerged with a shocking discovery about Yosef's condition, a medical twist that changed everything and sent a fresh wave of panic through them. Across town, Adalet, having followed her instincts, finally confronted the slimy Bora. Her protective fury, however, only succeeded in pushing a defensive Neslihan closer to the very man exploiting her. By Wednesday the 11th, Neslihan, blinded by borrowed designer clothes and empty promises, fell even deeper into Bora's glittering trap, completely unaware of the dangerous bet he'd made about her. Her trust was a tragedy waiting to happen. Back at the hospital, a mysterious message buzzed on Yaman's phone, pulling his focus from Yosef's bedside. The cryptic text, hinting at new information about the forged file and Zuhal's role, rattled him to his core, presenting a dangerous distraction at the worst possible time. Thursday the 12th had Yaman staring at a blurred photo sent to his phone, his confusion mounting. The image suggested a meeting, a secret witness, but the details were fuzzy, leaving him torn between staying with Yosef and pursuing this new lead. Iqbal and Zuhal, now in full-blown panic, scrambled to concoct a new, desperate plan to discredit Seher before the walls closed in on them. Their scheming was cut short by news that Firat, acting on a gut feeling, had rushed to a remote location and physically saved Neslihan from a potentially dangerous situation set up by Bora's so-called friends. True to its reputation, Friday the 13th brought high drama. Adalet was absolutely livid when Firat recounted how he'd found Neslihan, her anger fueled by a mother's worst fears. She vowed to put an end to Bora's influence for good. Meanwhile, driven by the mysterious messages, Yaman found himself waiting in a shadowy appointed place for a man named Salih. The minutes ticked by in tense silence, the question hanging heavily in the air: was this the breakthrough he needed, or another deadly trap set by his enemies? Monday the 16th brought a frustrating setback. Yaman's clandestine meeting with the detective Salih didn't go as planned. The man was skittish, demanding more money or protection, leaving Yaman with more questions than answers and a simmering frustration. In a lighter moment, Firat tried to play peacemaker, gently convincing Adalet that locking Neslihan away wouldn't help, perhaps allowing her to continue her legitimate fashion course with stricter supervision was the better path to healing her bruised dreams and confidence. The pressure boiled over on Tuesday the 17th. Yaman, his patience shredded by fear and suspicion, finally cornered Seher. He demanded to know, once and for all, what secret she was still hiding from him, his voice a low growl of accumulated hurt and confusion. Away from the mansion, Firat found a simple happiness, spending time with a chastened but grateful Neslihan, a small oasis of calm. Iqbal and Zuhal, however, watched their options vanish one by one, realizing their web of lies was now tightening around their own necks. Can you believe the twists? Just when you think someone might catch a break, boom, more drama. If you're living for these recaps, show some love. A super thanks donation is a fantastic way to support the channel directly, or simply sharing this video with another soapy fan helps us grow massively. Wednesday the 18th was emotionally explosive. At the hospital, the strain became too much for Zaya, who broke down in a devastating meltdown, his grief and guilt over past actions pouring out in uncontrollable sobs. Seher, trying to comfort him, was overheard by a lurking Iqbal. Seher's whispered words about coming clean gave Iqbal the final piece she needed to activate her most malicious plan yet. This confrontation finally gave Seher the courage she needed. She resolved to be completely honest with Yaman, no matter the cost. On Thursday the 19th, a confused Zaya discovered that an important item from his belongings, likely a memento of his late wife Kevser, had disappeared, sending him into a fresh spiral of anxiety. This theft coincided with another brutal fight between Yaman and Seher, their attempts at honesty colliding with old wounds and mistrust, leaving them further apart than ever. Adelaide, though relieved Neslihan was safe, found the deep hurt and betrayal her daughter caused still too raw to simply forgive and forget. Friday the 20th delivered a potential game-changer. Yaman's phone rang with a surprise call from a new credible source offering concrete evidence about the file forgery. This call, a lifeline in his search for truth, promised to change everything. Neslihan, trying to rebuild, faced the mundane setback of having to redo a crucial homework assignment, a humble lesson in perseverance, and, in a quiet moment, Zaya was flooded with long-buried, painful memories of things he had tried desperately to forget. Memories that now seemed urgently important. Monday, the 23rd, saw Yaman, armed with the new lead, formally ask his half-brother Firat for police help, nervously awaiting his call back while trying to act normal. Seher, sensing his distraction, quietly tried to piece together what new storm was brewing. In a bittersweet moment, Neslihan celebrated finally completing her assignment, only for her joy to be shattered by a chilling phone call from a stranger with a familiar, menacing voice. Bora wasn't done with her yet. Tuesday the 24th was a race against time. Yaman, coordinating with Firat, embarked on a desperate search to find the elusive detective Sally and finally learn the unvarnished truth about the conspiracy against Seher. His entire future depended on it. Meanwhile, Neslihan, ridden with misplaced guilt, visited a recovering Bora in the hospital. His masterful manipulation twisted the narrative, making her blame herself for his injuries and pulling her back into his toxic orbit just as she was trying to break free. By Wednesday the 25th, Seher, fearing the worst from Yaman's recent coldness, made a preemptive move. She approached Firat privately, asking for his help as a policeman and a brother-in-law if Yaman ever tried to take Yosef away from her legally. Her maternal fear was now a strategic plan. In the guest wing, a furious Zuhal confronted Iqbal, feeling utterly betrayed that her mother-in-law seemed to be saving her own skin in their crumbling scheme, their alliance fracturing under pressure. Thursday the 26th introduced a heavy guilt for Yaman. As he learned more about Zuhal's central role in the forgery, he battled the shame of having hidden this painful truth from Saya to protect her from more hurt, a secret that now felt like a new betrayal. Adding a dash of new drama, Ela returned to the mansion gossip circuit, buzzing with news of a fresh whirlwind romance that she was all too eager to share, providing a fleeting distraction from the heavier plots. The month closed on Friday the 27th, with Seher fighting to move forward from the painful past, her strength slowly returning, but her heart still tender. Yaman, however, was consumed by self-loathing, despising himself for ever believing the lies in that file and for the cruelty he'd shown the woman he loved. In a final twist, Sultan, ever the matriarch, decided to meddle in Ali's life once more, announcing she had personally found a suitable bride for him, setting the stage for a whole new wave of domestic conflict, just as one crisis seemed to be winding. And there you have it, my friends. A February so packed with drama it needs its own soapy, from hospital vigils to threatening letters and conmen getting their comeuppance. Yosef never lets up. I hope these rich, detailed stories brought the episodes to life for you. If they did, please help me keep doing this. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with your fellow fans, and comment below with your theories. Are Iqbal and Zuhal finally finished? Let me know. Don't forget to like the video and consider supporting the channel through membership or super thanks. It all makes a huge difference. Until next time, stay tuned. Because in the world of Yosef, the truth is just one explosive revelation away.